We can't hear you at all. Welcome to Be a Voice with Carpenter on Mutual Radio. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm really stoked about today's show. It's been a while since I've been able to sit and chat and just have a good old conversation with my good friend, Roz Pichardo. Good morning, Roz.
Hola.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've been on the show together.
I know. It's been like months and months.
A couple months because we were actually going to do a show once a month together.
Mm-hmm.
And then life just became life, and all of a sudden pandemic became our world, and life has taken over. But here we are today.
Yes,
The-
yes.
the
It's been a
two of
minute.
us.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
And we are socially distanced here in the studio. Roz is still wearing her mask, which is good. You can't really see the fact that she didn't do her makeup so well today.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a Saturday prep.
Yes.
That comes with shaving.
Right. We were just talking about that.
We were, weren't we?
Yeah, got a date. We got a
Yeah.
pandemic date.
So you got a pandemic date. Let's talk about that.
I know that's weird.
That's really weird, first of
Like,
all.
I'm going to still wear my mask.
You should show up with like the Jason Voorhees hockey mask.
Yeah, I want to wear like a see-through so he can see my lips.
I'm surprised you did not get one of those masks that's like your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That would have
I
been
should
hysterical.
That's a good idea.
Oh my gosh. Would the mouth be open or closed?
Open.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's always.
What happened was he's putting me out there like that.
Oh, jeez. So let's go back to this date.
Yes.
So this is a
Wow.
pandemic date.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, first of all, I haven't gone on a date in a long time without the pandemic. So
I'm so sorry.
don't be sorry. Trust me. I'm pretty happy like that, Saves me money, saves me time, saves me the fact of throwing them out.
Right. You gotta go.
Yeah.
Time's up.
No cuddling. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to snuggle.
I just just hold me, Roz.
All right, get off.
Oh my gosh. So
I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
let's hope this date's not listening
Right.
pre the date, because if so, he's gonna be like, whoa, high expectations already.
6 feet, bro.
Are you going to be going out to a public place?
It's probably gonna be like outside dining. I would rather be outside. I don't want to be inside.
Well, we can't be in Philly right now. We can't be inside because
Oh
they
yeah,
have-
yeah.
for the month of August, we are no longer allowed. We aren't allowed to be inside. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot go back inside yet. They said maybe in September, so it's all outside dining now to begin with.
Yes. I like it like that. I think, or I'm thinking of something a little bit more where we don't have to deal with waitresses and wait or whatever. Even just go to a park, do picnic kind of draw.
Ooh, there you go.
You know what I mean?
like that. I thought of that right away. Like a
It's
little
probably
picnic in the park.
cheaper.
Absolutely.
Girl, I like to save money.
Well, I hope you're not paying if it's a date. I hope he's
No.
paying. He better be paying.
It is paying.
He better pay.
I'm just saying I like to save money.
Well, that's why you go on dates. Let them pay.
Shoot, I ain't
You
never
save
looked at
money.
it
I
like
know.
that. Okay.
So, have you ever gone on a date where you paid half?
Yes.
You have. Was
Yeah.
it something that you knew before going on that date that you
Yes.
were going to pay half? Was that decided upon?
Yeah. Where I'm gonna pay my own way.
Is
kinda
that
deal.
something that you're okay with?
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
You're okay with that?
Yeah. Because I don't want you to think. Listen, so you got some men or women who would like go out
That's a
with.
different show.
That's some of my ladies will pay. Sometimes they don't. But then they won't get paid some other way. Girl.
Oh.
So that's why I'm like, no, I can pay my way. Thank you.
So, do you feel that by paying your own way, releases you from any expectations
Yeah.
afterwards. Is that what you're saying?
Listen. Yeah. Or I'm just cool with paying. Like I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, unless like this date, that the pandemic date, and you're go on, I'm not. I don't want to pay for nothing.
And you shouldn't
No,
have to.
no.
Did he ask you?
He asked to go out with me, so
there you go.
it's on his dime.
On his dime.
Listen.
His dime. It better be more than a dime.
Rub them quarters together.
Better not be no Red Lobster bread and butter rolls.
Yeah. They're probably stale now. It's still.
They
still
are some
rolls.
of your favorites, aren't they?
No, I do like I like Applebee's.
Oh, Applebee's. I'm sorry.
I like
Applebee's. I forgot. I remember I shot that idea down one night.
He was like, no. I was like, what? You don't want to go to Applebee's? You got sick, didn't you?
Yeah, I got really sick at an Applebee's one time, and this is no reflection. It's not like this isn't like a smear campaign here or anything like that. But I got really sick. I went to Applebee's. I ate. It was a few years ago. I got really sick afterwards, and I was sick probably for a good 2 days almost. And I was it food poisoning? I don't know, but I felt really crappy. So in my head, that association just is there, and I can't do it.
Shoot.
You know what I mean?
I just go to Applebee's. I go to the pickup thing, the curbside.
Curbside.
Yes, I love Applebee's.
Oh my gosh, that's sort of like with Jägermeister with me. Like I got violently sick on Jägermeister
really
many years ago. And same with Southern Comfort too. I got sick. Oh,
you know what?
so
Southern
good.
Comfort. Like now, my family is Southern Comfort drinkers. My
Really?
twin sister, that she should knock them back. I'm like, oh, and I would try, and I was like, we coming right back up. I can't do it.
I was just holding myself as you do that reflex.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want that drink.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Tequila either. I broke my toe on
Really?
drinking tequila in Cancun.
See, I had no problem drinking tequila. Everybody else had a problem when I drank tequila, but I never had a problem when I drank tequila. Everybody else was not very happy with me as a tequila drinker. But my face used to turn bright purple. And you would see veins in my face from drinking it. I used to call it the tequila reflex because all of a sudden these little purple and red
Turn
veins.
to the Incredible Hulk.
It was so weird. Would start coming out and people were like, "Oh, margarita." I'm like, "Yeah, you could tell."
Maybe you're allergic or something.
Hey, listen, it's all right. I don't drink it anymore.
The sour mix or something.
I used to love those. I used to love whiskey sours too. All that sweet stuff. Anything that masked the alcohol taste, I would just chug it then.
Yeah, it'd be like juice.
Yeah, but it's been so many years. How many years has it been since I drank something? It's been over 5 years.
Oh, that's good.
I know.
Congrats.
Oh, hey, it could be worse. It could be worse. Every once in a while, I miss my beer.
Sitting here with my
water.
With my vodka water.
With my vodka. My potato water. Oh, Roz, this is good to laugh.
I know, it's been a minute.
Yeah, because we're always so serious. We're always so involved in the moment of what we're doing, and usually what we're doing is serious. Usually what we're doing has been crazy. So, let's back it up. Let's talk. The pandemic hit back in March. You, like everybody else, faced uncertainty and not knowing what was happening. Of course, you like myself, our immune systems aren't the greatest. So we have to be careful on where we go, who we associate, what we do. And you were really careful. You still are, but you were a real advocate in the very beginning for, wearing your mask, stuff like that.
And they don't know if you can get it again. The uncertainty whether you can get it again is kind of crazy. But the fact that it affects people differently is strange too. It early on in March, I think it was March, when I had COVID. And then the immune system was I thought it was going to be worse, but it wasn't. So.
Because back in March is when you got really sick, and you were down, and you got the test, you had COVID, and you were down for a good week.
19 days.
19 days. 19 days, and then all of a sudden, it was it was a resurrection. You were great. You felt amazing. You were up. You were about. It was almost like a whole new day. It was like that. You wake up and the rain's all gone.
The 19th day, I was out of that house.
And you were.
Yes, I had. I was like, I ain't seen another day in here. I got to go to work. So it was like, and I have really, really good bosses where I was able to work from home as well, even though I was like going through COVID. But then they don't know if you can get it again. So I'm always getting tested. This is probably my third time getting tested. I'm waiting for like I don't have any symptoms or anything, but I'm around hundreds and hundreds of people. So I want to know, if anything's happening or if we can get it again and all that stuff. So
And you just got tested again this week, correct?
this
You did.
week.
And when will you get your results for that?
I should get it today.
Today. So, if I wanted to get tested and, the price of the tests are expensive, there's some free testing going on, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. So you can get tested at the Ruth and Clearfield meal site. We're there every Tuesdays from 12:45 until 3. So I suggest that folks come at 12:30 so they can line up and make sure that there's no long lines.
Are there a lot of people who show up to get free testing that
There
day?
is. It's been increasing now. Their maximum they're allowed to test, I think, is 40 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you hit the 40?
We've hit the 40, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've hit the 40.
Is the test painful?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
They, like,
and
shove
and
it up
it
your nose?
yeah, it's like they're using a pipe cleaner to clean your brain cells. It's like, but I had one person who did it, and she was very gentle, and then I had another person who did it. It felt like she was like scraping my scalp.
I paid her extra.
Right. I can't.
Oh my gosh! So this was your second test,
My third test.
third test, third test.
Yes. Yeah.
And if this test comes back negative, that you're negative, there's will you get another test again?
Yeah, as long as I'm still working with the amount of people that I'm working with, I think I have an obligation to the people I serve to make sure that I'm COVID free. I just, even though we're all careful, like even when I tested positive, I was still careful, and still got COVID. So it's just like I just gotta make sure that we know what the status is, and if it's positive, I self quarantine.
It's social responsibility. Once
Yeah.
again, is what it comes down to. Social
Yeah.
responsibility. It's as simple as the masks that we wear. Social responsibility. I mean, do I like wearing a mask? No. It's 100 degrees out there. I'm walking down the street. Do I want to wear a mask? No. However, I don't want to have the alternative of being sick or the thought that I could possibly get somebody else sick. That would be devastating.
And you don't know if you're carrying. A lot of people don't know they're carrying COVID. Like they don't know if they have it.
There's no sometimes underlying symptoms.
No,
Sometimes
it's
you have
all.
fucking-
My initial symptom was just sore throat, and then after that, I had no voice. Like my voice was really raspy. It was like gone. Like it sounded really bad. And then at the tail end of the last days, that's when I started getting the fever, and then, tired, that kind of thing. But yeah.
Well, the no voice part sounds exciting to me.
Stop talking.
Oh, Roz can't talk? Okay.
Yeah. Be quiet. Okay. COVID's going to make you be quiet.
Yes. So good. So, were you able to eat?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
able to eat, but like because I found out, like, first of all, it was hard to get tested during that time. I had to go to first I went to my doctor. My doctor said I couldn't get tested, that I needed to go to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room. And because my oxygen level was low and my fever was high, they was like, okay, well, you're not sick enough to stay, so you have to go call your doctor and see how you can get tested. I called them back, and they was like, no. So it was a lot of back and forth, and finally I went into the office and said, I'm not leaving until I get tested. You guys are messing me up here. I need to figure out what's happening. And then finally they tested me, and then I came back positive.
I need to get the test done only because I am out around people a lot as well.
Yeah.
I also want to get it tested done for the antibodies just to see.
They do it there too.
They do it there.
The
Okay.
antibodies, it takes a long time for that to come back. I mean, probably a month or
That's all right.
something.
I ain't going nowhere. We got
Me neither.
time. Yeah, we got time.
I still hadn't got my antibodies test yet.
No?
The results back.
Oh, yeah, I need to get this done. I really, something I've been thinking. It's something that, because I am around a lot of people, I'm around a lot of different people. I'm
Mm-hmm.
around, on the streets with people. It's,
Mm-hmm.
the proximity, even though I'm wearing a mask and I'm taking my precautions, you never know. You
Yeah.
just never know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take that around others. And, it's not like I'm around a lot of people. We don't
Mm.
really, other than the people we're working with or we're
Yeah.
doing stuff with, it's not like we're going out and partying and having a good old time, you know. But it's been scary. It's been really scary.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were asking me about those who are experiencing homelessness and the rate at which they're contracting COVID, and I told them that it wasn't a huge rate.
Mm.
That
Yeah. That the numbers. The numbers aren't accurate though because a lot of people aren't getting tested.
right, and
Yeah.
that's it. And well, also because once again, I think it's important to realize that like they don't really have the means or the knowledge of some of this stuff happening out there.
They don't want to get sunshines don't want to get tested. And
Why?
I've talked to several sunshines because that means for them that they're supposed to quarantine. But if you're homeless, where do you quarantine to?
Well, that's the whole thing. How do you if you
They
have
got a
nowhere to go?
Yeah, they got a place. Well, they had a place downtown, the Holiday Inn,
Do you
right?
know that they only had 4 or 5 people in there?
That's crazy because they can't stay if you're in addiction because they don't let you leave. So what are you gonna do? Go through withdrawal by yourself in the room while you're going through COVID at the same time? That's not happening.
Well, once again, this is where we fail to do what's right by those who need
Mm-hmm.
it the most, those who are most
Yeah.
vulnerable. We're not having that type of empathy
Yeah.
for them. We weren't prepared for that. We weren't prepared for any of this, but and it's crazy because this entire pandemic and quarantine and isolations and everything has brought about so much more societal issues going on,
Mm-hmm.
such as the gun violence.
Yeah.
We have
That's
now
increased.
like exceeded
Mm-hmm.
one of our worst years ever.
Mm-hmm. That's and a lot of that has to do with one, um, the DA not prosecuting. It has a lot to do with the pandemic, where the cops don't want to get COVID. It has a lot to do with uh, they're not arresting for low level crimes like drug dealing. They're just not. And now just recently we're starting to see a lot of activity in Kensington where they're doing all these raids and stuff now. But the violence has already happened in a magnitude that's like beyond. You got pregnant women being shot. Uh, 3, 4 blocks from me, Christine, she was shot. I think she was shot like 15 times by her
Yes.
boyfriend or husband. Then we found, wait, her name is not Christine. Christine is the woman that was found
And
in the
this suitcase
suitcase.
is Christine.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you have another woman that was found in West Philly in a container.
Yes.
So it's just like, it's so much violence across the.
We also had the woman who was found in the water,
Mm,
dismembered. Then we had the container. We had Christine in the suitcase.
hmm
We've seen a lot of violence. We've seen a lot of gun violence. We've seen a lot of
hmm
domestic violence.
Yeah.
People were being quarantined in their homes, and there were these issues going on behind closed doors
Yeah.
that nobody knew about.
Yeah, I just I had a conversation last night with some of my friends on a Facebook Live, and we were talking about domestic violence. And I was sharing a little bit about my story about being in a domestic violence situation and how I ultimately left, but the way that I left wasn't the way that he want. I had to break up with him, right? You're dealing with the traumas of domestic violence, and then when you leave, there's repercussions to those who have these jealous rages, and that was ultimately what ended my boyfriend's life tower because of my ex's jealous rage. And I was sharing that, and then some girl said to me, "Oh, so so someone got killed because of you? I was like, no. Someone was killed because of their actions, not because of anything that I've done. And I found that to be so crazy that people will be so quick to play the blame game when it comes to domestic violence. And how do you, for me, it was like, how dare you blame someone who's experienced that kind of violence and blame, like, I didn't pull the trigger. So I found that to be very, very
Ignorant.
ignorant, hurtful, disrespectful, just not knowing enough information to say, oh, it's your fault. No. I can't take responsibilities of the actions of someone else. And especially take the responsibility of something heinous as that. Like, that's.
I think society has really shifted their focus on these types of crimes and acts and become more of blaming victims than
Mm-hmm.
anything. It's always the victim's fault. What did the victim do to provoke this?
Yeah.
What did the victim do to make this happen? And I think people need to sit back, chill the f out, and realize that nothing is done. Nobody asks for any of
Mm-hmm.
this. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
asks to be beaten. Nobody asks to be shot at. Nobody asks to be stabbed. Nobody asks for this. It's not something. So I think people really need to think before they speak, and they need to do a lot more research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or find some people
Yeah.
that were victims of these
Or
crimes.
even when they prosecute, let's talk a little bit about Krasner. He does that a
Shh.
lot. He would question the victim a lot, and it feels like the victim doesn't have any rights at all.
Let's talk
Even
about
people
Krasner.
who survived, and then and families who've lost their loved ones. Like, and I say this all the time. Like, yo, I wish that my brother's shooter isn't caught while Krasner's in office, because I feel like if his shooter is caught, Krasner's not going to prosecute to the full extent of the law. He just wouldn't. I feel like he never really left the defense. I feel like he's always going to be for the defense, even though he's a prosecutor.
And that's what I don't get. How do you take somebody who was a high profile defense attorney, and make
Hmm.
them a prosecutor?
I don't, I've seen some successful prosecutors who've been on defense, but Larry is one of those folks that he really, really sold us on what he was going to do for families of homicide victims.
Larry.
Uncle Larry, that's what we call him.
Larry.
No, I just feel like he wasn't honest to a lot of the families that I've been working with so closely over the years.
He's a politician.
Yeah,
He's really a politician. He's saying what
yeah,
people need to hear or
what
want
they
to
want to hear.
hear,
Yeah.
and then he just does what is he's told or what the other
Hmm.
people expect of him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a really hard time with him.
Hmm. I
I
do
really
too.
do. And I agree with you. If this were the time where your brother's shooter were brought to justice, there might be different repercussions with him in office.
Hmm. Yeah.
Him in that seat. How many years has it been for your brother?
It's been since 2012.
8 years coming up.
Yeah.
8 years.
Hmm.
8 years, and is it considered a cold case file at this point?
Well, the homicide detectives don't use that term anymore. But is it active? No.
Okay. So what term should I use then instead of cold case?
Active, whether it's an active case
Active
or
or
an
inactive?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Um, so it's inactive at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no new leads. Nothing. It's just been. I think the only way that his shooter will be caught if one of them brat the other one out, because it was two of them.
There's two of them.
That's the only way. If something happens to one and he wanted to get like a plea deal for something, which Uncle Larry would do, 'cause that's
Yeah,
what he
he would.
does.
He's
But
good at that.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that's the only way they're going to catch him. I mean, even though we have their faces, it's not clear enough on the video. So, but
And you keep posting.
yeah,
You
yeah,
keep posting.
yeah.
Those of you who want to find out more of that one, you can go over to Operation Save Our City on Facebook, and you can find out the story on Roz's brother. I mean, we've talked about it many times. Her brother lost his life to gun violence, and the shooters were never brought to justice. So, it's something she lives with every day. It's something that she's actually made her life out of fighting for. It's really what started you in this activism world.
Mm-hmm. It did.
You
Yeah.
know, it's interesting to see that. It's interesting to see that catalyst that starts it. And I think your brother is probably prouder than proud knowing what you've done and all you've done, and in his name, for his name.
Yeah, yeah, that's my baby.
It's awesome. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Um, so you've been out there every day from Monday through Friday, even on Saturdays. There has been free lunches being handed out by Step Up
Yeah.
to the Plate. Tell us a little bit about that, Roz.
Yeah, so Step Up to the Plate is an initiative that began with different organizations coming together to bring food for folks who are struggling with the pandemic, people who lost their jobs. So it's a collaboration of Catering by Designs, 12th Street Caters, Wawa, a Prevention Point, Philadelphia Department of Homelessness. Who else? So many other people.
Is Impact?
Project Home.
Project Home.
Project Home is part of the project, the initiative, and there's some other folks, but off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. So it's really good. It's really good. We're there Monday through Saturday from 1 to 3, and we serve about 560 lunches every day.
And that's just at the one site. That's at Ruth and Clearfield right here in Kensington. There are other sites throughout the city, not just this one. And they're serving 500 per site at some places.
Yes,
and
yes.
So you're talking, there's how many sites? 4 of them?
I believe it's 3.
3 of them.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of food. That's a lot of distribution. And it's a daily thing. And 12th Street Catering is very close to me because Michelle Leff, who is the proprietor, she was on the board of directors with me for Morristown Refuge for a long time. And she actually caters the fur ball.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to know that she was very active with that was amazing. Plus the food. The food is in like,
It's good.
Yeah, it's good food. They get some
Listen,
really good stuff there.
I faithfully get my lunch every day from work.
That's amazing.
It's delicious.
It's really good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When we're there on a Saturday at the garden cleaning up, I send people down there for it, and why not?
Why not?
Why not?
It's for everybody.
It is for everybody. I want people to know this. Like, it's not just for people who are, and I don't even like to use that, living on the streets, because they're not living on the streets. They're experiencing homelessness. They have no choice at this point. This is where they're at. So, but it's for everybody. It's for people who are living in homes. It's for people who are, wherever
It's for
they
the
may be.
entire
It's for every
community. Yeah,
Step up to the plate means step up, grab your food, and enjoy it. If you are living in a home and you want to go out and get some food and you don't have an extra $5 or $10, Step Up to the Plate has it for you.
That's right.
Check them out on the internet, and you'll find out some good information about them. They're doing some great things, and that's great, Roz. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's been going since when?
It's been 4 months.
And it's still going.
It's still going. I think we're going to be
Still
going all the way to the end of August, I believe.
Yes, I thought
And
that's what I heard.
I think they may expand it. I'm not sure.
Well, I tell you who needs to step up to the plate then in September is the Philadelphia School District and get the lunches made for all the kids that are going to be at home and make sure that they have access to lunches.
Yes,
Because
yes.
now you're not having education in schools, which I get. I don't want to go to a school and teach or to be a student right now at this point in time.
No way.
But let's face it, you're going to have some of these parents, there's 3-4 kids under a roof. Make sure that we continue it that way. So I'm really looking forward to see what they come up with, what they do, how they do it.
So I've been doing a lot of online teaching.
You have?
Yeah, with the DEA. So I've been working with that project for about 4 or 5 weeks now.
And what's the project about?
So it's an art project, and this is how everybody's doing it. They're doing virtual learning and all that stuff. So it's all about drug prevention, but through art. So we have about 60 students, and at the end of the project, they'll create a piece that we can hang up. One piece in their community and then another piece at the the DEA office. It's a federal building. So
That's
it's
awesome.
I know. I've been looking forward to coming home with some pieces.
It's great.
Getting some stuff mailed and stuff.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
That's
nice.
Good stuff. That's good
It's
stuff.
nice.
Have we seen an increase in? We've seen an increase in the gun violence. The last few weekends alone have been devastating. The numbers are skyrocketing. Have we seen an increase in the number of overdoses?
There is an increase in overdoses. There's not enough outreach workers to distribute the massive amounts of Narcan that at least at Kensington needs. The numbers are increasing. I've seen a lot more empty Narcan containers on Kensington now more than ever. I must say that even if the city got the numbers through EMS, the numbers are not right because they're reversing one another and nobody's reporting this.
They're not calling 911 when they're doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So I think the numbers are crazy. And even with the pandemic, the fear that EMS workers will get COVID is even scarier because I can imagine just like the sanitation workers, half their workforce is out because they're sick. Some sick with COVID. So I can imagine the fear that EMS workers are going through and firefighters and even police. It's just like I'd shared this story with I think it was with Nina, and how we were reversing three sunshines right behind the Walgreens, and the police wouldn't administer the Narcan. They wouldn't. They just because of the social distance, and this was like a couple months back.
Well, maybe they should put their masks on because not all of them wear their masks.
They
either.
don't. Yo, they don't.
I gotta be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of them that are really good to us
Mhm.
and everything, but if you're gonna set an example and you're gonna lead by example, put your damn
Mhm.
masks on out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't. They don't put their mask on. Yeah, so it's like it's crazy because I find that I just find that people are not taking the pandemic very seriously, and my family's been facing some difficult times during the pandemic. We lost my cousin Moses, to an overdose during the pandemic, and we weren't even able to go to his funeral because of the pandemic. So it's just like it's taking a toll on the entire community. And it looks different for people who are homeless and people who are in addiction too, because they're so used to getting services and now they have nowhere to go, and they have to wait for us to respond to them. And it's hard. It's tough. It's tough.
It is. It's really tough. I mean, I've been out doing outreach, and I've been eh, just seeing more and more people and less resources.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame.
Younger faces too.
Younger faces, and they're moving. It's the areas have shifted greatly. Certain streets that used to be clear are now actually, congested with traffic and thoroughfares for drugs and those experiencing homelessness and facing substance use disorder issues.
Mhm.
Then there's above Allegheny, north of Allegheny, going towards Tioga.
Mm.
That has become, on the west side of the street, has just become another encampment setting up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no resources once again.
Yeah, and they keep moving them, but they keep coming back. But I mean, you're moving people, you're shifting people around like cattle, and then they're not, and not providing resources. You can't do that to human beings, and that's what they do. That's how they did with Conrail.
Well, that's what they start. Yeah, Gurney tracks. So
Mhm.
the minute they did that 4 years ago, and then 3 years ago, and then when they
Mhm.
turned the encampments over here,
Yeah.
all they did was they took it
Just
from one area, moved it to another area. And,
Shifting.
yeah.
Because it's gentrified. They know that they're going to get so much money if that stuff is cleared. And
Let's
people are
talk
gonna
about
buy
that.
it.
Frankfurt and Lehigh, one of the main encampments, one of the encampments
Mhm.
that I worked with on a daily basis because I knew them there very well.
I don't even recognize that area anymore.
Now there's condos that butt right up to that trestle.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
That was planned.
You tell me, yeah, I'm gonna say you tell me that just
all
happened.
That, all
was
that,
planned.
all that's planned. Our city, our politicians, our council people, are they already know what they're doing. They're shifting people. They're part of the problem. They're part of the fact that our community is gentrified, and they want to call it cleaned up. I want to say people are taking over.
What I want to say is it's what money fills what pocket.
Mm-hmm.
If that money fills a
Right,
pocket, that's
right.
what happens. Let's call it out there.
Mhm.
Let's say what it is.
Yeah.
The certain council people are actually pushing for developers and builders to come in, even though they're saying they're they concerned about long-term residents. If you were that concerned, you would fix up what's happening already there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't build new.
Yeah, they don't even care about the long-term residents, because if they did, then you wouldn't be trying to boost their taxes up for someone who's coming into the community.
Let's
And now they're not going to be
unify.
able to afford it.
No, they can't afford it now. They
Yeah.
can't afford it now, and it's and here we are with $300,000 condos popping up
In Kensington, yo.
in Kensington. you know,
Yeah.
um, Driving down. I mean, let's face it, Rent-A-Center right there, right across from the hub. You
Mm-hmm.
know, what do you think's going to be built there? Another Rent-A-Center?
No, it's gonna be a
No.
condo.
Condos, condos where people are going to come in and they're going to spend $250 to $300,000 per condo
Mm-hmm.
to live there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to remain silent because I don't know what else to say after that.
See, that's it. Zoning meetings are happening all the time, and nobody's invited to them, so we don't have a say.
No. And the worst part is like, we've got to go to the development corporations, and then we only get half the story from them.
Yeah. Especially you got this one, the one that owns some of the, I forgot the name of the. Anyway, so they own the building where I live on my block, and they would do things that's like so inappropriate. Like they would cut our lock off our alleyway, and say, we need access. Well, you don't just cut someone's lock off because you need access. You come and knock on the door. Yeah, that's what they do, and they just like, oh, I said, well, you don't even have a backyard, so you shouldn't even have access to this
What do
alleyway.
you need access for?
They were fixing something on the back of their house, but anyway, yeah, it's just like you don't do stuff like that. And this was a development agent. That was like one of the
Builder.
developers. Yeah, they're on I Street. Oh, what is their name? They're on I Street anyway.
You can call them out later.
I'm about to call. I want to call them out, but I forgot their names.
Oh my
Can't even
God.
call them out.
It's been a crazy ride so far. It's been a crazy ride so far.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going on with Operation Save Our City? Anything?
Yeah. So on August 20, I know things are shifting with school, but we've already started rolling out. We have about 200 book bags that we're giving out on August 22nd. It's going to be at the meal site, but I don't know what's going to happen because of the pandemic. So we have book bags, but they're not necessarily going back to school. So I guess they'll just have free book bags and books. So that's happening on the 22nd of August at the meal site, and we're going to be starting from 12 to 3.
So August 22nd at the meal site, 12 to 3. If you're a student in the Philadelphia School District or whatever, you can come to the meal site. You can get a book bag. What's going to be in these book bags?
Books, pencils, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Paper.
Every kid loves that stuff regardless.
Yeah,
so
crayons.
yeah, when they're going to school, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll have some stuff to.
That's awesome.
Even
That's
though
awesome.
they're not going to school, it's kind of sad.
Do you have any
But-
snacks for the bags?
No, I don't have
Would
snacks.
Philly Unknown would love to donate some snacks for
Okay,
that.
we would gladly
We would love
take
to.
some
Yes,
snacks.
of course.
Yeah.
That's awesome to know.
Or who doesn't love snacks?
Exactly.
Everybody
There'll
loves
be healthy
snacks.
snacks, of course, but
Yeah.
there'll be snacks.
That snacks are
Snack
snacks.
pack.
Yes.
So that's August 22nd.
Yeah.
What else is going on in your world?
So we're actually working, like I said, we're working with the DEA with some art projects. I think what really had my plate full is dealing with the meal site. And just recently working with a mom whose daughter was murdered on Rosebud Boulevard, shot while in her car. She was 17 years old. And so just still working with families, but not in the magnitude that I'm
How long
used
ago
to.
was that one?
That was about 3 weeks ago.
That was the one 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
17-year-old girl. Was she with her boyfriend?
No.
No, by herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you worked with the mother.
They're working with the mom. She's
The
upset.
shooter found?
No.
No, okay. So-
No. Shooter hasn't been found. Now the murder of Christine has been solved.
Yes, the father was very, very active on
Yeah.
social media
Yeah.
and about it. And I found it very interesting to see his responses to some people because he was a huge advocate for bringing this man to justice.
Oh, absolutely.
And he plastered his face all over social media.
Mm-hmm.
He plastered his Instagram accounts and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He really let it be known. And to me, that man is a hero.
Yeah. Yeah. He helped solve his baby's case.
He absolutely did. He's a champion for the cause, and I want to give that a shout out to him.
Yeah.
You did your daughter justice, and that's just an amazing thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, a lot of people need to step up, and a lot of people feel like, they don't want to snitch or they don't want to be out there like that. But I think if you want crime to go down, then you gotta speak up. You can't just let people run rampant and start shooting pregnant women like they have, murdering our kids and our family members. I mean, people just gotta speak up. Don't be afraid. Listen, you can't be afraid. You
I
just gotta
was
talk about it.
I was on the phone yesterday with a colleague who lives over in West Philly,
Hmm.
and she was telling me that she actually recently had been in the midst of and involved because it happened right outside of her door of the shooting over at like 48th and Chester area,
Mm.
where it was
I don't know about this one.
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, and she's just saying how like over there it was just broad daylight. It just started. They opened up fire, and
Mm.
the kids were there and everything, and people are becoming bold out there, becoming
Yeah.
brave. This pandemic has really set a tone for certain people to do certain things, and it's also giving other people in this empowerment to do more evil things.
Hmm.
And I'm not quite sure how we can, you know, combat this, but I think it's the awareness. I think it's being at voice. I think it's, you know, educating yourselves to the issues in the area. You know, if people don't know about the crime going on out there, about the gun violence, you know, Roz is one of those people you should be following, that you should listen to. I mean, basically, just open up, your eyes and your ears, and you'll hear about what's going on.
Yeah.
How many homicides have we had?
Man, I don't even know. I kind of stayed away from that the past couple of weeks. You know, what I've been learning to do now is to really get everybody at the table in a sense and learn how to coexist with everybody. I mean, not only with people, in active addiction, people who are suffering from homelessness, but even the dealers themselves. I mean, I've been taking a new approach on how um, I address them or how I go up to them with any kind of services, because just like anybody else, the I think the reason why they're out there too is because they don't have jobs, or they're struggling from with something. They're struggling with, maybe they have a record where they don't allow them to get a job. So we gotta remind them that you can be another person laid up in this street, shot up, if you don't know the basic techniques of how to stop the bleed. One,
Mm-hmm.
because the chances are, there's turf wars happening all the time, especially now with the pandemic. Every single corner is already taken by a certain drug, whether it's heroin, whether it's pressed pills, whether it's um, K2, whether it's perks, whether it's the strips that they sell,
Subs.
subs. So it's just like, everybody has a corner. So there was always beef happening between corners. So I've learned to show the dealers these skills, how to stop the bleed if one of your friends are shot, or even if you're shot. How do you how do you reverse an overdose? They're gonna sell. They're gonna sell drugs regardless. So if you want your customers, and you want your customers coming back, carry Narcan.
Absolutely.
I mean, and even if they don't administer it, somebody around there knows how to administer it. So we gotta
Carry it.
be, yeah, we gotta be proactive. We gotta remind folks that there's a pandemic. Wear your mask.
You know,
You
we
know.
used to, and this is, and people may laugh at this, but when I was working years and years and years ago in an area that was a high violence area, high crime area, especially with gun violence, we actually used to hand out feminine hygiene products, tampons,
Mhm.
and stuff like that, to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
It was something that was utilized for a gunshot wound bleeding. So
Mhm.
it was that people don't understand the harm reduction doesn't happen in the substance use disorder
It
world,
happens in
in all aspects of
all
life, mental
aspects. Yeah.
health, in the drug, when it comes to like drug dealers,
Mhm.
there is harm reduction in everything. So
Yeah.
there's some really good things out there, and we just
Mhm.
talked about yesterday about doing a little bit of a video to
Oh.
start showing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited.
Showing
What's
people how to stop the bleed is important.
Oh my
Showing
gosh,
people
yeah.
they can use anything as a tourniquet,
Yeah.
and we provide the tourniquets. It's a really simple bandana with a
Mhm.
metal straw and tampons. That's it. That's your tourniquet. That's how you stop the bleed. Here's some Narcan. Go save a life. Go do great things.
I love it. I love it. So speaking of great things, what have you done? Anything fun? I mean, let's talk about something fun. We've talked about all.
Yeah,
What have you
self
done?
care.
Self
What?
care.
What? So yesterday, I gave myself a nice little mud facial thing.
You got
It's
some
like
left over right there.
yeah, yes. It looks like it's blending in with my gel, with my hair gel.
It's hardened.
Yes. No, so I've been really, really practicing a lot of self care lately. And then I went away to Brigantine to the ocean where I'm like one. I feel like I'm one with the ocean. I love it. So I was there for a couple days, which was really nice. I just been I did some yoga yesterday. So I've been really, really trying to keep myself in a good state of mind,
Nice.
body, soul, all that stuff. Just trying to keep myself in check.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
good. It's important. I started doing a lot of meditating with the pandemic. I've started finding myself into some really good zones and
Mm.
enjoying it. And all of a sudden, like that's been like my little escape. But it's been hard. It's
Mhm.
been hard. So
Yeah.
it's good to hear that you're hanging in there and you're doing the normal
Mhm.
raw stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Doing the
have
normal
to.
raw stuff.
I have to. I have
Um,
to. Because we're all being spread so thin right now. Because
mhm.
the less people out there, the better it is that we don't spread COVID. So one particular person can be doing like 10, 20 things. So, and you got to make sure that if you're in a household full of people, that only that one person, can be out among so many people. You know what I mean? You don't want to transmit this virus. I mean, it's deadly. It's killed thousands and thousands of people, and we still have thousands sitting in hospitals on ventilators. So, I mean, this shit is real.
It is, and wear your masks when you are in public around other people. It is social responsibility. It is not for you to like complain about. It is for you to realize that you consider yourself having the COVID and you don't want to give it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep your distance, social responsibility, and you know what? Don't bash other people for what they believe in,
Yeah.
especially when it's the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Roz, we can always talk. We always talk really, we have a lot of good conversations. We have a lot of useful conversations, a lot of laughs.
Yeah. Yeah. You
I
gotta
love doing
laugh.
that with you.
Yeah.
I look forward to our next time we can get together on the show, and maybe it's not during the pandemic and we don't have these restrictions. And,
Mm-hmm.
because right now life as we know it has just changed greatly.
It has. It has.
So what's one last word you want to give to the listeners out there? Some words of, Rozisms that you want to say to them.
Be kind to yourself and take it easy.
Absolutely. So hard to remember that too sometimes. Be kind to yourself. That's a really great way to leave the day. Thank you so
Hmm.
much, Roz.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, thanks for showing up as always. Thanks for all you do for the community. Thanks for your friendship. And you know what? Just thanks for being you, Snack Pack.
Thanks, Snack
You
Pack.
got it. And Dylan, thank you so much for another great show. For always, getting up early and dealing with my schedule. So, Dylan, you're a trooper. You've been really hanging in here during this pandemic. And to all of our listeners out there, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing the social responsibility. Wear your mask. Stay safe. Stay you. And whatever it is you stand for, be a voice. This is Britt Carpenter on Usula Radio. Have a great rest of your day.
Perfect, man. Yeah, right on time. It's whatever. Hey, can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's on now. Yeah. All right.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning. What's up? Fernando should be coming on.